Hello everyone, and welcome to Wednesday night here in the Amethyst Cave. It's me, Alyssa Reynolds, and I am super excited as ever for this evening, though extra specially excited because I'm channeling a couple dragons tonight, and though I never would have thought it, they have flown in to a really special place in my heart. So just as I'm waiting for all of you guys to pop on in, hey Lisa, wonderful to see you. Hey Mariel. I just have a few housekeeping things that I wanted to touch on since it's the end of November already. I can't believe it. I don't know about you guys, but it's just flown faster than a dragon could this month. And it's December. So first off, because it's just about December, that means, and some of you eagle eyes have probably already noticed it pop up in the events in the group, but I have a brand new unit topic for December, and it's a really celebratory one. It's less of a structured practice learning kind of one compared to what we've been going through in November. December is all about believing in your magic, and that belief in your magic, building that belief in your magic, just celebrating your belief in your magic wherever you are at on your personal journey with developing just a relationship and a love and excitement and joy, whatever you want to describe it as, with your magic, which is your internal power as an amazing creative being. So that's going to be starting in December. And just like this month, you will be able to find the materials and the channelings for December's unit over in the unit section in the group. And I'm really excited because Archangel Sandalphon has stepped forward, Archangel Gabriel has stepped forward, the dwarves have stepped forward, which is really fun, and the fairies. So a whole range of some wonderful beings who are wanting to get in on the action and exploration of just all of us celebrating the wonderful magic that we each have. So I'm not going to talk more about it right now because that'll come more on Sunday when I will be posting up the first introduction for that whole unit. But I just wanted to mention it so that it's on your radar as another exciting thing to be doing in what I know for a lot of people is often a very busy month full of many things that are done. And speaking of that, in the last couple of weeks, I will be taking a little bit of a break from social media, so I won't be having any lives at the later half of December. However, in the first half, all of you guys voted to hear from Jesus, so he's going to be the first who I'm going to be channeling in December, which I'm really excited about. I always love connecting with him. And there will be a few more, definitely, before we hit the mid of December. And just a couple more things, and then I'll dive into tonight's awesome dragons. Some of you also may have noticed that I have started up a writing project. That's yet another thing that I love to do, and it is a series of just short stories called the Lighthouse Stories that are not interrelated other And they are stories that are found within this mythical lighthouse. And you can read the first one just up on my website, arreynolds.com. And I'm also working on doing an audio recording of the story and all the stories that will be getting posted every other Sunday from here on, because I know sometimes it's hard to sit down and actually read words, and it is easier to have audio going in the background. So I'm going to be having an audio version of the first story coming up shortly as well. And also coming up in January, I know that's way, way, way in the future, but I just wanted to put the little earworm in for those of you who have worked with the Divine Feminine before, or you've just heard about the words Divine Feminine and you're curious. I'm going to be having a class all about an introduction to the Divine Feminine happening in January, where we will be connecting with different goddess energies that you can work with in order to explore that Divine Feminine that is within you. So I'll definitely be talking more about that as we get closer, but I just wanted to put that in your ear as well, since it's also something that's up on my website. And so with that, the really, really, really exciting topic of the dragons tonight. Which, as I was saying at the beginning, I never thought this would be me today, connecting with dragons. When I was very little, I believed in fairies, I believed in unicorns, but when it came to dragons, I loved dragons, and I used to love playing this game about this little dragon called Spyro, and I wrote 3 sketchbooks worth of, well, I drew 3 sketchbooks worth of this story all about this dragon called Baltimore. So I loved dragons when I was little, but they were just the fictional creature to me. I didn't connect with them in the way that I did the fairies and the unicorns when I was little. So, surprise, surprise, come forward to about 6 months ago. 6 months ago, when I was walking home. It was quite late at night. I'd just finished work, and all of a sudden, I felt this whoosh of energy just swirl down right in front of me that stopped me in my tracks. It was so strong. And I was like, whoa, because it did not feel like an ascended master, and it was definitely not an archangel, and those two tend to be some of the stronger energies. So I tuned in, focused a little bit more, and the energy was really, really swirling around and moving, and I asked it to just settle and slow down so that I could connect with it, and it did. And then what I saw was this huge loopy dragon, so long kind of serpent-like loops, and he was massive and way, way up in front of me, kind of going from the sidewalk that I was on up almost into the tree branches. Huge. And he'd come in at that time because he specifically wanted to connect with me, because he wanted to take part in this course that I was offering at that time, or I was about to offer, that was introducing people to different elementals. And he wanted to take part in it. So that was my first introduction to dragons, just having one just drop in on me in the middle of the night while I was walking home. And it hasn't stopped since. They don't come in quite like that, just out of the middle of nowhere. Usually, since then, they come in when I wish to connect with them. But dragons, as I have learned, and that I know many of you have absolutely experienced, because I know a number of you were commenting on the group wall about how closely connected you are with dragons, or the experiences you've had with dragons, that dragons do absolutely specifically work with us. Some of them work with us for the entire span of a lifetime. Some of them may work with us for multiple lifetimes. Some of them just pop in to work with us for just a short period of time. So that's kind of been my experience, is they've just popped in whenever they have noticed I need their energy, or they've been asked to come in. So, for example, the Western Wind Dragon, who is that great silvery dragon who dropped in on me that evening 6 months ago, was stepping forward, both because he saw what I was doing, introducing people to different elementals, and then also because he and the other wind dragons all act as supporters, as voices for Gaia herself, particularly kind of like this intermediary that works with people who may not be quite ready to connect with Gaia, and they come in kind of between that. And the other thing that dragons just do across the board is they are primarily focused on burning away, of transmuting away the low vibrational energies that are here on the earth plane, as well as any that may be around you as well. So tonight, the wonderful Western Wind Dragon has a message for all of you, and he wanted to come in. And he's been in here just about all day. He's been hanging around me, just filling my whole apartment with his energy to the point where I had to ask him for a while, can you just move out of my space for a little bit? And I also went outside for a little bit of a walk just to ground myself further. And there's also this sweet dragon that I have just recently connected with that is a very different energy from the Western Wind Dragon, who also wanted to step forward with his own message as well. So, to me, the Western Wind Dragon feels very all-encompassing. His energy, as I was just saying, fills up this. Right now, he is just building his energy up more because he knows that it's about time when I'm gonna let him actually say his piece, and I'll relay it. And he's just filling up this whole space around me. And his energy flows in very much like wind. It just rushes in swirling and swirling. And right now, because he's been here for a while, it's more settled. And has such a feeling of just peace and love. And this protector. Ironically, really reminds me of this cat, the first cat that I ever had when, well, my parents had this cat before I was born. So, but really reminds me of this cat that used to sleep when I was a baby in my crib right around my head. He would just wrap his whole body right around my head. And he always would sleep like that. As I grew up, he would still come into my bed every night, and if he wasn't already in my bed and sleeping, but he was coming in after I'd gotten in, he would come in and sleep right around my head, wrapped around my head. And that's very, very similar to how I feel the Western Wind Dragon, that just wrapping kind of around me, very protective, peaceful, safe feeling kind of energy. He's laughing a little bit at how I'm describing him and shaking his head, feeling quite proud, honored by it. He's amazing though. He says, yes, that is my work here on Gaia's back. I am a protector, he says. My main work is to be a protector of Gaia and all aspects of her. And I wish to remind each of you that as beings who walk and live upon her back, you too are part of Gaia. So know that even though I am the guardian dragon of the Western Winds, I am also a guardian for each of you. For each of you, I see as children of Gaia in your incarnations now upon Gaia's back. You are her children just as much as the fairies, as the dwarves, as the elves, as the gnomes, as the trees, and all the other beings who are here, as I too am a child of Gaia. And it is in the capacity as a guardian for Gaia, and to a guardian for each of you, that I wish to remind each of you of your impact upon Gaia's back. Each of you, and every choice that you make is a ripple that adds to the winds, that adds to the waters, that adds to the earth that is Gaia's back. And so, I wish each of you to be guardians of Gaia yourselves. To be aware of how the choices you make with how you live your lives impacts all of the others who live here upon Gaia's back and impacts Gaia herself. I speak first and foremost of the physical things that you choose and that you do. I speak of what you use in your day-to-day life. And I encourage each of you to find even one new way that you can protect Gaia and not add to the hurt that she has felt thus far. She is healing. She is healing greatly. But there is still much healing yet to go. And as her children, as you are in this lifetime, as beings who walk upon her back, I ask each of you to take a stand and do your part, even if it is just one small step to protect her from further hurt, to help her to heal. Whether this is choosing what are more natural, more earthbound choices and products, things that can be made by yourself, things that can be a part of the natural cycles of the growth and the decomposition and the growth again of all that is here upon Gaia's back. Choose just one thing that you can do, that you can change in your day-to-day life. And it does not have to be now, but move in that direction. Make the choice to be a guardian for Gaia, just as I am a guardian. And 2, you can protect Gaia. You can heal Gaia by the way that you think of yourself, the way that you think of all those who are around you. For your thoughts put seeds upon Gaia's back, seeds of energy that grow. And I encourage each of you to focus upon seeds of love, to focus your thoughts on seeds of love. You do not need to send the love to Gaia directly. You may, and she will always gladly receive it. But as her children, as beings who walk and live and exist upon her back in this lifetime that you are in at this time, it is up to each of you to show yourselves love, to plant seeds of love within you, and to spread them around to those who are around you, to all the other children who are around you. For a guardian is not just one who stands and protects what is outside of themselves. No, a guardian, to be a guardian, must first protect the light that is within them, must first feed the light that is within them. And that each of you can do by planting seeds of love within you, and then go forth and spread those seeds of love in both your physical actions done for day-to-day activities, and your energetic actions, your thoughts. I encourage each of you to now, and even more than you may have been doing, to now be a guardian for Gaia. And in that way, you are being a light. You are doing all that you must do here. Just being a light and helping, coming together with all of us here upon Gaia's back to raise her light once more. So, just felt him kind of flow back and away from me a little bit. So he's moved away. He's still here, but he's less all over me right now. And that's because we've got the wonderful smaller dragon of sorts. At least the way I see this other dragon, he shows himself as certainly a lot smaller than the Western Wind Dragon, who visited me some weeks ago when I was really doing a lot of work of releasing cords and attachments that had to do with and were really tangled up with a lot of confidence and things that I had experienced, where I was like, all right, I'm done with this stuff. Don't need it anymore. And he came in to help with that and to support me with just removing all that stuff that I was like, I am so done with this. I don't want to be dealing with it anymore. And it can go. Just sweep it away. So he popped in. And he is a lot more of kind of that Western style dragon of being more of like the 4 feet and kind of fairy-like wings, and he's kind of this orangey yellow color. There's more yellowy than orange, but there's orange mixed in. And very bright. And his energy is much more lively. He feels younger than the Western Wind Dragon. So when I'm saying kind of lively, it's kind of this younger sort of feel of just more movement, more sparkle, more fire. And just more of this lively, like, yay, childlike kind of joy to this dragon, who wishes to be known as yeah, to double check it, yeah, Citrine. And okay, so he says that today he wishes to introduce himself and the work that he does here to encourage each of you to connect with, call upon dragons like himself. He says he is a dragon who cleans the energies around all of us humans. He focuses upon supporting us and how we wish to be in any moment. And if there is that which we wish to release and we no longer wish to hold on to, he steps in to help burn it away. He will burn it away, he says. Know this. When he helps burn things away, he says, it will burn away. It will be transmuted. And you will only hold within you the energy that you wish to be. And 2, if you feel blocked, stuck, uncertain, he will step in to help clear the path to remove those blockages, be they fear, worry, concern, whatever it may be. He will clear the path, and he will support you on the path of clearing away those blockages, of letting go of those patterns held on to that you no longer need to. For when you see a blockage, when you feel stuck, when you feel like you are in a corner and you do not know where to go next, You are at a crossroads. You are at a moment where so much will open up, and all you must do is notice that you have reached a block. And then you ask for help, or you begin to seek ways to release the block. And know so much will open up on the other side, he says. Do not despair. Do not give up. Do not hold to those feelings any more than you would hold to fears or worries. For reaching moments when you do not know what is to come next is just the starting line for so much more to come, for new paths to come, to new paths to open up. And all you must be is open and willing to work through those blocks. And I can come and support you in working through those blocks and clearing a path so that you can begin upon what is on the other side. And know that there are many of us dragons who can help you with this. It is not just me, though you may call upon me, as you may upon any dragon to help you with whatever block, whatever fear, whatever you are facing. For we, and to this he's referring to the dragon specifically of his particular energy. They're almost like energy dragons. They're like clearing dragons, dragons that specifically work to just focus on different energies around us, as well as our energy centers. And he says he focuses the most on clearing away fears of not being enough. He brings confidence, he brings strength, he reminds you of your inner power. And he says, other dragons can help with you finding your voice, for speaking up and speaking with your voice, for remembering joy and loving your inner child. We can help with loving yourself, of giving yourself the same kindness and compassion that you would give to another. We help you in whatever way that you wish, and all you must do is ask. Ask for help. That is the first step to removing whatever you feel stands in your way. Ask for help, and whatever stands in your way will no longer stand in your way, for you are not alone. You have as much support as you wish to have. But first, you must take the action of seeing what you wish to change, and then wishing to change it and taking the action to change. For we do come in and we help, and we will burn away whatever you no longer wish to block you, or you no longer wish to hold on to. But you too must, with your own mind, with your own actions, be open to that which you no longer wish to have to be burned away. Be open to change. Be open, for though whatever is on the other side of that which you feel is in front of you, you don't need to know. That unknown, remember, it is exciting. It is part of the journey that you have chosen to take by coming here now. It is what makes each day that you are here be filled with light. And that light is added to all the light that is gathering here upon Gaia's back. So know that by being open to change, being open to the unknown, you are opening yourself to letting out more light, and you are adding to the light that is here and that is growing. And each of you is a light worker. Each of you is here because you wish to spread the light. You wish to help others. And so, remember that by asking for help and by helping yourself, just even in those acts, those are great acts. They are huge acts that add to the light, that shines out and is added to all the light that is there, and connecting with others. So he's stepping back now. And I have one question from someone who was not able to pop on to the live tonight. And I know both of the dragons, they told me that they'd be open for any questions. And so I also wrote down a couple myself. So for Ursula, who unfortunately was not able to make this live, though I hope you're able to catch the rewatch Ursula. She wished to know from the dragons a little bit more about her next steps and if there is anything that she needs to know at this time. The Western Wind Dragon has just rushed his energy forward, Ursula, to give you his answer. And he says, Ursula, that he has seen the work that you have done, and it has brought so many people together. He says that space of being a facilitator, of being a creator of sacred spaces, of safe spaces for others, is one of your greatest gifts. Especially, he says, now that you have begun to open up, and you, he says, have done so much work with releasing and burning away that which you no longer wished to hold you back. And that is why he says, you are now becoming ready to be one who brings others together, one who sends the light out into wider communities, greater communities, bigger communities. And that, he says, is where you are going. And he's putting into my mind two different platforms that are internet based that you're being encouraged to move towards as spaces to create even greater communities and bring more people together. And first one's YouTube, so putting work out onto YouTube, and then the second is this audio podcast site called SoundCloud. So he's saying, whatever you choose, beginning to put your work out for the world to be connected with, not just the communities that you have already been building, but beginning to reach out further and sharing your light out more into whatever of those larger communities is where you're being wished to go. Whew, that's exciting, Ursula. Wow. How cool. And he says, Ursula, that you may absolutely call upon him to help support you if you feel any worries or fears or any of those things that you have dealt with that may still come up as you take this next step. And he will help support you and remove those from your life. So if you guys have any other questions, absolutely put them up. I wanted to ask the dragons about what different types of dragons there are, because that's one thing that I've never actually asked. I've just kind of worked with the dragons that have popped in and chatted with them in their particular fields. This one, Citrine's answering. He's just leapt in and leapt forward a little bit. And he says that there is a dragon here upon Gaia's back for everything, for all energies that are here. There is a dragon. Okay, he's just listing off a whole bunch of them. So there are dragons that work with the elements in particular, like the Western Wind Dragon and the Eastern Wind Dragon, the Northern Wind Dragon, the Southern Wind Dragon. And there are dragons that work with the oceans. There are dragons that work with the earth, and they run their energy through the earth itself. There are dragons that work with the forests. There are dragons that work with the fairies. That's cool. Whoa. So I just asked him about the dragons that work with the fairies. And he said that they support the fairies in their work, in how they also are working with the forests, the oceans, different plants, animals, and the dragons, because he says they are able to get in, he says, get in deep and face the low vibrational energies and clear those low vibrational energies out. That is why they work with the fairies. Whoa. Ooh. And he says, will often team up with the angels as well, for there may be low vibrational energies that are identified that then the dragons can go in and they're able to burn those energies out and remove those energies. Ooh, that is cool. So they're based on just about every corner and everything. Ooh, good question, Bonnie. So, Bonnie, to your question, Citrine says that knowing what is blocking you does help for the block to be more focused and more fully removed. For often, what is blocking you comes from within you, your experiences and your own perception and creation of the reality that you exist within. And so he says, knowing what is blocking you can help to fully begin to remove the block, and for it not to arise again at another point. However, he says, if you know you have a block, but you do not know what it is, what emotion is blocking you, what experience is blocking you, we can still come in and remove whatever is blocking you if you ask to have all blockages or cords that are attached to a particular situation, a particular experience, a particular moment to be removed. And so it will. But know that that will be done in that moment. And if what blocks you is not fully known from within, it may appear again. For blockages are your own mind building walls, be they from experiences in past lifetimes or experiences in this lifetime you are in now. But you may call upon us, and we can help you to begin identifying it simply by, in a moment when you feel blocked, we will remove the energy that has built up, blocking your flow. And then we encourage, take note of your feeling, of your emotion, of your experience in that moment and the next, so that going forward, you can begin to identify what it is that may continue to arise, that may continue to cycle through this lifetime, or that has cycled through multiple lifetimes, and come to a space of being able to see it and let it no longer have power over you. For you ultimately have the power to walk your path and to create your path. Although we are here to support you and to give you aid when it is needed. Ooh. Oh. Wow. That has given me a lot to think about myself, Bonnie. Wow. That was a good question. All right. So on that note, because the dragons are nudging at me. Not overdo things. I've been doing that a little bit lately. And I really only had that one question myself about just the different types of dragons. Whew. And I don't know about all of you guys, but now I am probably going to take a walk outside and just let some of the things that we've learned tonight just move through me, get into the flow of the wonderful dragon energies. So I encourage all of you guys, if you can't do it today because it's already way into the evening for you, or maybe it's morning, or whatever time it may be, definitely connect with the dragons if you haven't. They are wonderful energies to work with, and though they do just drop in when you need them, which is wonderful, they always are there when they're needed. You can absolutely call upon them and they will come. All right. So I'm wishing all of you lots of love and light, and I will see all of you on Sunday for what will just be a pre-recorded video. That'll be the introduction, as well as a little bit of explanation for what December's unit is going to be about, and a little bit of what it's going to look like. So I'm super excited about spending a month just celebrating all of our amazing, sparkling magic that we all have within. So until then, bye for now.